Last week, we discussed Sajjan, the hypocrite, the murderer. We discussed the power of the teachings when those teachings come from such a preordained soul who has become one with those teachings. There are many philosophers. Many will have a very philosophical approach. But we are talking about those souls who have merged into the message. For when they teach, there is a profound effect on the recipient of those teachings. Then we touched on the Shabad, the Naad. Today, we will carry on and try to understand the Shabad in a little bit more detail. Please keep your focus, steady your mind, go deep inside, remove all distractions. So what can be said about the mystical Shabad? Many searchers of many different spiritual backgrounds, those searchers of the divine, many lovers of the divine, spend so much time in meditation, searching for the mystical Shabad. They try to commune with the Shabad. Alas, many millions of searchers, but just a handful who have succeeded. And in this pursuit, the many painful emotions that they suffer, separation, desperation, pain, anticipation, expectation. When will I see my beloved? All these emotions, all tied up in one knot known as birha. They search to try to understand, to try to experience the greatest mystery of all. The vibration Shabad, the Shabad which was with us from the beginning of creation and is with us through today and will be towards the end when everything goes back into Tundukara. This Shabad, this Naad, this Naam, which vibrates throughout every atom, every cell of creation. And the greatest day in the life of a searcher is the day when they truly realize their purpose, for then a grand awakening will begin. The foundation for a successful search of this unstruck sound, this celestial sound, which resonates through the galaxies, will become possible to hear. Those who start the Shabad Surg meditation, they try to describe the obscure sounds that they hear in their own experiences. Such as, some have come back and described this resonance like a hum of a honey bee, an intoxicated honey bee. Some indeed have come back and they have described the experience like an engine which is idling in vibration. Some have come back and they describe it's like a rainfall. Some say it's like the whistling sounds, a high frequency sound. There are others, they say it's like a waterfall or a roaring of an ocean. Some say it's like the kantanad, a sound of a bell ringing. Some come back and they say it's like the Sangat, sound of a conch. Some say it's the Tantrina, a nasal sound, a humming sound like that is generated by the strings of an instrument. Some come back and they say they've heard dol. Dol are like tight drums, loud drums. Others indeed, they say the manifestation of these sounds is like a veen, like a flute. Some come back and they say it's the mardang. Sounds like a mardang. When I sit in meditation, I just hear the mardang, a big bass drum. Some come back and say it's the echoing sound, like just an echo. Some say it's the Megh Nad. Megh Nad meaning a roll of a distant thunderstorm coming towards you. Some describe it as the sound of crickets, or flowing water, or wind. Many manifestations of this beautiful, divine, mystical sounds of the heavens. So what is this Shabad? This Shabad is an infinite divine power of the divine, born from the one divine Shakti. That which creates, sustains, and ultimately destroys. The same Shakti, the same Shabad. We were born from the Shabad. We are sustained by the Shabad. We will merge and die into the Shabad. that which vibrates, I say sound vibration, a vibration that penetrates the many divisions, the many layers of creation. That which actively lives and resonates in the vastness of the many layers of our consciousness, and in every cell and in every follicle of the human body. In short, the Shabd is a link between creation and the Creator. Hence, the importance of meditation. Simar naam barambar, Nanak ji ka eho adhar. Meditate, meditate over and over again, for this is the only one spiritual practice which is going to save your soul, according to the scriptures. A symphony of many divine sounds, all resonating throughout creation. Generally, it's acknowledged that there are Panj Shabd, 5 Shabds. But in the Anand Sahib, it says, Vaje Shabd Ganere. That many people have heard not just 5, but many different sounds. Vibrating, penetrating, exhilarating in all directions. And this is the whole truth. So how can we experience the Shabd? As we meditate and as we rise above our Rajgun and the Tamgun and the Sattvic stage, as we rise and control the 9 gates of the body, as we rise above the 5 element body, once we transcend the sphere of the 5 elements, when we go beyond here, we will begin to hear the sound of the Shabd. Very gentle at first, but some people say it's very profound, very strong. Gur Shabdi Govind Gajya. We will hear the sound of the Shabd in all its glory, sweetness, and melody. On one occasion, Guru Nanak Ji, the first Guru of the Sikhs, on one of his Udasis, Udasi was the mega journey that he made to spread the message of just the one God, just the one God. He was in the Himalayas, high up in the mountains. And about 2 years ago, me and my wife, we flew over the Himalayas, and we saw this place where the Siddhas sat, because the pilot told us that this is where the caves where the Siddhas used to sit. And I think, if I'm not wrong, it was probably not far off the base camp, height of the base camp. And I was just in awe. How did Guru Nanak Ji manage this journey? People had all this high-tech gear, and they were coming from Kathmandu, and they were walking up 2-3 weeks, and they were taking and acclimatizing and getting Guruji all the way from the Punjab, walking across the Himalayas. And we saw this beautiful little place in Kathmandu, where Guru Nanak Dev Ji spent 6 months. And we saw the tree under which Guru Nanak Dev Ji sat and preached to the locals. we saw the footprints of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I have some pictures, one day I will post them. And it was really a beautiful experience, and 4 eminent saints of the time all met up at some point in that place. Anyhow, a group of Siddhas had left this world, they had renounced the world, and went up to these mountains to meditate. And they had this rather profound belief that mental exercise and physical prowess was very, very important, and that leaving the world was the way of liberation. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji went. And the Siddhas had a discourse with Guru Nanak. It's all documented, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question-answer discourse. One Siddha asks Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Bala, meaning child, explain to me, where does this Shabd that you talk about dwell? Where is this true Shabd which will carry us across the terrifying ocean of this world? And in the scriptures, the question is posed in this way. So Shabd kahan kahan vas kathiyale, jet tariye bhavjal sansaro. Nanak, child, explain to us, which is this Shabd? Where is this Shabd through which we can cross the terrifying ocean of this world? Bhavjal, Bhavajal, Bhavasagar, we spoke about this. Sansaro means world. Guruji answers, So Shabd ko narantar vasa lakh jeh dekha tah soi. That Shabd dwells deep within the nucleus of all beings. O saints, wherever I look, there I see the divine, the omnipresence. I remember once I was with my master and we were just having a heart-to-heart. And he said to me, "Your son, when I was young, I pointed my feet in a particular direction. And then it came to me, I should not point there. Maybe I should point in this direction because there were some religious texts there." And he goes, when I changed my feet in that direction, I could see the same Eko. There is one God here and there and there and there and there and there. The same Om, the same Eko. And I thought to myself, where my divine does not exist? Where is this place where my divine does not exist? In other words, it's not to say that we deliberately go out and create other people's disharmony in their emotions, but the essence here is that the divine exists everywhere. Everywhere. And when the sound current, now here is one thing that you really need to understand. People think me meditation, I can meditation. Wrong. Meditation needs activation. I'm talking about the Shabd. Everybody will say Vaheguru, everybody will say Allah, everybody can say Ram, everybody can say Rahim, everybody can say whatever mantra they want, but that is not activation of the mantra. That is something that we have to do as our effort to rise above the three gunas. But the real sound current of the Shabd has to be activated. And it is activated only by a true Guru or a true preordained saint of the divine. The scriptures say, Ji daan de bhagti layan har syo lain me lai. Jidan. It has to be activated. Like a candle which is lit, that wick, that flame, when it touches the unlit candle, that candle will also light. The wick of the candle will not light by itself. It needs a connection. The blessing of the preordained, the blessing of the true Guru is that flame that is going to activate the process of meditation and Shabad inside you. Once this is activated, the spirit will be attracted to the sound of the Shabad like a magnet. It's like that once it's activated. And then, as the bonding increases with the Shabad, our soul becomes more stronger. As our Shabad mantra becomes more beautiful, our soul will feed off this Shabad. And as the soul becomes more profound, it will become the disciple of the Shabad. The soul, which has been lost in this Maya world, once the Shabad is activated by the true Guru, by the preordained, and once the activation has taken place and you meditate from a different platform, then what will happen is that your soul will become the disciple of the Shabad. And as the discipleship of the Shabad becomes more profound with the soul, the Shabad will begin to pull the soul out. And with the Shabad, you will rise higher and higher and higher towards your 10th gate, towards your Gagan, Dasam Dwar. And from this point, the Shabad resonance, which is created beyond the Sattvic, this vibration, this Dhona, it will begin to destroy the roots of our karma. Not before. This process will take time. Why? Because over the many, many lives we have been reincarnated. Our relationship, our bonds with Maya, they're fused together, completely fused. The rust of our bonds and attachments from the many lives are with us, absolutely rusty. On the other hand, our surti, our focus, is absolutely weak because that is also under the influence of Maya. So, what do? Find the company of the divine souls who have practiced real meditation. Sangat. Sangat kariye sadhaki anta kare nirvahu. Find good, divine Sangat. Now here, finding that Sangat is very difficult in this world of hypocrisy. There is much hypocrisy, much pretense. And finding for such a person is looking for a pearl in the deep blue oceans of the world. Very difficult. Only if your purab karma, your karma from the last life comes to fruition, will a divine soul come in front of you And then even sometimes we cannot recognize the divine soul. Why? Because our Maya mind is playing tricks. Once we come into the company of the divine Sangat, then the process of spirituality and meditation will be expedited. The rust of the mind and of the attachments will begin to disappear. And for the first time, after many, many lives, the mind will begin to find itself at peace and at ease. And the mind will, for the first time, stop wandering outside in the illusions. And as we rise, then we enter into a situation where we will have no karma. The accounts are automatically settled because we go into the phase of hukum. We, for the first time, become in hukum. We will become operating under the divine wish. Last week, we spoke about Varn Atmak Shabd. These are the shabds that we hear by our outer ears, whether it's kirtan, whether it's bhajan, or indeed, whether it's just the sounds of creation, of nature. Then there is the other aspect type of shabd, which is known as the Tun Atmak Shabd. This is the most subtlest form of shabd and the most purest form of shabd. However, these can only be heard when our outer ears cease and our inner ears, the seals of the inner ear, begin to open. I was driving my master one day and I had a cassette. We were listening to Kirtan. And I had done that for many years, had no problems. But on this day, he looked at me and said, switch off the tape recorder. I did. And he said to me, when are you going to stop listening from your outer ears? I was a little bit surprised. I really wasn't too sure what he was asking me. And then he said, when are you going to start to listen with your inner ears? I got the message. Go inside, basically. Go inside. Lose the sounds of the outside, because there is a much more profound and beautiful sound inside. And I immediately changed my practice of meditation to start to concentrate on the Vaheguru Shabd and the Satnam and the Mool Mantra through breath control. Shabd Guru Sorta Panachela. Siddha asked Guruji, how do you meditate? The Shabd is the Guru, and your focus must be the disciple. Shabd and Surt. Shabd Surt Marg. And in this way, to start listening to the words and feel the vibration of the Shabd. This is the practice all true spiritualists will perform. However, this practice must be performed, or should be at least, under the guidance of a preordained master. And why do I say that? Because Kaljug and Maya will not be too far away. And there is a very high chance that if you do not have somebody with you who have done this path, You may well be thinking that you are experiencing all that, but it most probably is the illusion of Maya. We will carry on with this topic as we go into the future. God bless you. There is not much. I get tired very quickly because of my health conditions. But I want you to really focus on this is authentic spirituality, I kid you not. Listen to everything, please, and put value. In other words, put and implement it in your life. God bless you all.